the whole committee on rationalization of government agencies. 1, Honorable Nathan Byanyima, Honorable Abudu Katuntu, Honorable Dan Kimasho Atwijike, Honorable Ayo Tony, Honorable Apollo Christine, Honorable Patukin Sanja, Honorable Bakabulini Charles, Honorable Adeke Ann, and Honorable John Baptist. The terms of reference of the ad hoc committee are: 1, to study the justification of the merger of government agencies. 2, to conduct a cost-benefit analysis of the merger of government agencies. 3, to study the effect of the merger of government agencies on the current employees, of merger of government agencies on service delivery in relation to the merger and nationalization of government agencies. Finally, to recommend on any issues incidental to the merger and rationalization of government agencies. The committee is required to report to this House within 1 month and comply with the provisions of Article 93 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda on hearing of interested persons and receiving written memoranda. I want to thank you, and we hope the committee will do the best. Thank you. Matters of national importance? Yes.
Madam Speaker. Just response to your
procedure matter by Honorable Lucy. Then you can.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, on Tuesday, during your communication, you reported about the message of the Pope during the International Catholic Legislators Network meeting. I beg your indulgence if you what was discussed as the chairperson of the Catholic chaplain.
3 minutes.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, a team from the Catholic Legislators Network meeting. This is a self-sponsored meeting. And briefly about the International Catholic Leaders Network, it was founded in 2010 as an independent and non-partisan international initiative to bring together practicing Catholics and other Christians elected in offices. Madam Speaker, the reason why I rise now is to read in full the message of the Pope when we had the private audience with him in Vatican on 27th August 2021. If you may, I will read verbatim. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased once more to meet you, lawmakers and political and civic leaders from various nations. At this critical moment in our history, I thank Cardinal Schonborn and Dr. Alting von Gunschel for their kind words of greeting and introduction. I'm also happy that His Holiness Ignatius Ephraim II, Patriarch of the Syro-Orthodox Church, is present with us. From its founding in 2010, the ICLN has accompanied and supported and promoted the work of the Holy See, bearing witness to the gospel in the service of your individual countries and the international community as a whole. I am grateful for your love and for the Church and for your readiness to cooperate in her mission. Our gathering today takes place at a very troubled moment in time. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to rage. Although significant progress has been made, through the creation and distribution of effective vaccines, much work remains to be done. There have been more than 2 million confirmed cases and 4 million deaths due to this terrible scourge, which has caused immense economic and social devastation. As a result, your work as lawmakers and political leaders is more important than ever. Charged with serving the common good, you are now being challenged to direct your efforts to the integral renewal of your communities and societies as a whole. This entails more than simply combating the virus or seeking to return to the status quo prior to the pandemic. It demands confronting the deeper causes that the crisis has laid bare and aggravated: poverty, social inequality, widespread unemployment, and the lack of access to education. In an age of upheaval and political polarization, legislators and politicians in general are not always held in a high esteem. Yet, what loftier vocation can there be than that of serving the common good and placing the welfare of the community before our personal advantage? That must always be your goal. For good politics is indispensable for universal fraternity and social peace. Challenges confronting us is the administration of technology for the common good. The wonders of modern science and technology have increased our quality of life. It is the right to rejoice of these advantages and to be excited by the immense possibilities that they continue to open up before us. For science and technology are wonderful products of God-given human creativity. At the same time, left to themselves and to market forces alone, without suitable guidelines, guided by legislative assemblies and public authorities, guided by a sense of social responsibility, these innovations can end up becoming a threat to dignity of human person. This has nothing to do with curbing technological advances. By means of policies and regulations, policymakers can protect human dignity from whatever may threaten it. I think, for example, of the scourge of child pornography, the misuse of personal data, attacks on critical infrastructure such as hospitals, and the spread of false information on social media. Prudent legislation can guide the development and application of technology in the service of common good. I heartily encourage you, therefore, to make every effort to undertake serious and in-depth moral reflection on the risks and possibilities associated with scientific and technological sciences advances, so that the international laws and regulations governing them may concentrate on promoting integral human development and peace rather than on progress as an end in its and weaknesses of the people they represent. Each has his or her own specific gifts to offer in service to the welfare of all. The involvement of citizens in the various sectors of social, civic, political life remains essential. All of us are called to foster the spirit of solidarity, starting with the needs of our weakest and the most disadvantaged brothers and sisters. If we are to heal our world so harshly tried by the pandemic and build a more inclusive and sustainable future in which technology serves human needs without isolating us from one another, we need not only responsible citizens, but also capable leaders inspired by the principle of common good. Dear friends, may the Lord enable you to become a leaven for renewal of minds, hearts, and spirit, witnesses of political love for the most vulnerable, so that in serving them, you may serve Him in all that you do. To you, your families, and your work, I cordially impart my blessing and ask you, please, to pray for me. Thank you. This was the message from His Holiness Pope Francis, and also the President of the International Catholic Legislators also had a message, but I will just summarize in the last chapter, where he says, our work of peace must begin within the private world of each of us. To build for a man without fear, we must be without fear. To build a world of justice, we must be just. And how can we fight liberty if we are not free in our own minds? How can we ask others to sacrifice if we are not ready to do so? Friends, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, thank you so much for giving me time to read this very important message that I thought I needed to share with my colleagues.
Thank you. Can you give us, and it becomes part of our documents? Lay it on the table.
With your guidance, thank you, Madam Speaker. Allow me to lay on table a document. It is entitled Private Audience with His Holiness Pope Francis, 27th August 2021, addressed by Dr. Christian Alting van Geseu, President of the International Catholic Legislators Network. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Allow me also to lay on table address of His Holiness Pope Francis, meeting of the International Catholic Legislators Network, 27th August 2021. I beg to lay. Madam Speaker, thank you so much. And I also want to inform the House that of the 5 working committees that were permanent working committees, I am a co-chair of the Human Rights and Dignity Working Committee. I represent Africa on the globe. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Honorable Lucy. In the communication I made, the chairperson is Nathan Bianyima, deputized by Honorable Katonto. Honorable Mbwa.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
It is on the communication. It is okay. You will come after. Honorable Mbwa.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank you for the value and attention you've attached to the merger. I stand here as a Shadow Minister of Public Service, and you put up a high-quality team. But as a scholar, Madam Speaker, I also look at the scholarly burden attached to the research. The research will probably take twofold: those that will focus on quantitative and then qualitative. Parliament, because we don't have so much of the time, we might focus on qualitative. So, Madam Speaker, from your communication, I was asking you to explore the possibility of deploying our scholars that we have in the country so that they use their research and scholarly capabilities that would be reconciled with what we have, so that we have feedback both from the House, from the high-quality team you put in place, but also it's good to tap into the human resources that we have in this country, especially looking at the professors both from the humanities and from the sciences. The sciences look at generation of knowledge, and then the humanities looking at application and use as it relates to this particular subject matter, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Atkins, you will be welcome to go and give your ideas to the committee. Honorable Angora, then the Minister.
Thank you very much, Madam. Madam, I had risen, Madam Speaker had risen to respond to your communication, and I am grateful that what I had wanted to raise was when you named the members of the ad hoc committee, you had not told us who the chair and the deputy chair would be. So I thank you very much for that quick response to correct that. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Mine was in relation to the message from His Holiness the Pope. I want to really thank Lucy for delivering this important message and the key issues that His Holiness has urged us as legislators to put as part of the agenda for this House. But also to say, Madam Speaker, that when we attend these international networks, there are important issues that we discuss. It will be good, Lucy, to come and present probably a report in addition to the message from the Pope, so that we can follow up on the issues that we deliberated on, the resolutions, I know issues of pro-life, so that as a House we can take seriously these recommendations on the international level. But finally, I want to really thank God. Honorable Sakelo has not been feeling well. I can see now she's very upbeat, so we are very happy that we are back in full gear. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Akelo, the chairperson of the Catholic community here, kindly prepare a report and submit to the House. And while we're in Rome, there was no matter of politics. We're all one. And we went there to pray for our Uganda, pray for everybody, and we thank God for that. And the Pope emphasized on love, loving each other as you love yourself. Honorable Mbwa.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Procedure here.
Right Honorable Speaker.
There is a procedural matter.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Madam, I have consistently noted that the chair is uncomfortable with politics. When there was no politics, we all won. The other day you guided that when you are discussing massacre.
It's because the chair is independent.
So I wanted to find out, Madam Speaker, how a politician elected, I will avoid politics so I don't offend the chair.
Honorable Semuju, the chair is independent, so I don't entertain NRM, NOB, DP. I am in this House as an independent person who should guide the House. I'm the referee. So if you're actually, when we're there with the Flavia, where is Flavia? We're there with the Flavia, you'd never know whether Lucy is UPC, Flavia is NOB, Honorable Taiwa is NRM. It was oneness, which I allowed for Ugandans. And Ugandans were the majority. Thank you. Honorable Mbwa. You know, one has to realize that Honorable Semuju is in the House. Honorable Mbwa.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, and I've also realized that he's around. Right Honorable Speaker, the matter of national importance I'm raising about government initiative to upgrade Health Center 2s to a level of Health Center 3s. Right Honorable Speaker, in the last Parliament, the government...
Bring that up on Prime Minister's time for you to have exhaustive response to it. It is not very urgent per se.
It's very urgent because the contractors have abandoned the site, Right Honorable Speaker.
You will not get a feedback today. What we want is action-oriented response. We want these people, when you put it down as Prime Minister's time, These people should be able to go on ground and come with the action taken. That's what we have agreed. So can we have your statement written and delivered immediately? Government Chief Whip, Honorable Seungu, and it must be something of life and death. But if it is something that is, it needs a response, then you should be able to put it down in writing. Yes?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm raising on a matter of national importance. Schools in Uganda, basically classes of senior 2, 3, and 4, 1, plus P, leaving out P4 and P5, have taken almost, even nursery classes have taken almost 2 years without having classes. What is in the public, Honorable Speaker, is that there is information that is not coordinated between the Minister for Science and Technology, the Minister of Education, about when schools are going to be opened. Honorable Speaker, I'm happy that teachers are being vaccinated at rapid speed, but government has not come out clearly to give this Parliament the proper position how schools are going to resume. The last time they opened, Honorable Speaker, a school was given 1.3 million. I'm talking about my rural schools where we come from. And buying just one simple foot operation hand wash is worth 300,000. But a primary school, requires more than 4 minimum. So the matter of national importance, some of us let me first drive this point home briefly, and I will give you information. Right now, Speaker, some of us who come from rural areas, schools are dilapidated, desks are broken, and indeed, the situation at school is not good. Teachers, some have lost morale, they need some bit of workshops. We want to know from the minister. And the last Honorable Speaker, for selection of children going to senior 1 and senior 5, there's no clear picture as we talk now. But what we are hearing, some private schools have already selected the children. Then government schools, King's College, Budo, St. Andrews College, we want to get proper information from the minister about what they are preparing so that Parliament must know what is going to take place before children resume.
Information.
Okay, let me take the information.
80% of Ugandan students, every morning, when you stand in Busia border, you see them crossing to Kenya. When I asked my colleague from Ruakaka, he told me the same. Yesterday, I was having a chat with Honorable Geoffrey Lutaya on the Tanzania border. He was telling me the same. Right, Honorable Speaker, Kenya has scientists like Uganda. Here, every day, a generation of almost 30% of children from P1 and P2, senior 1, senior 2, senior 3, have sat in their homes. And girls are getting old, are getting married. So I don't know. The fact, my information is that Uganda, we are having a generation that we are leaving behind in education because of mixed understanding in statements between Honorable Musenero, whom I don't know whether she's a minister or she's a presidential advisor in charge of COVID. And also, at the same time, we are having mixed statements from the Minister of Education. That's my information, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, it is very prudent, honorable members. As we talk now, Honorable Speaker, we have a number of girls who are impregnated. Some were in P5, others were in P6. What is the fate of those children as we open schools? So we want a comprehensive
information.
What is happening, honorable members and Madam Speaker, is that the Ministry of Education is well abreast with what is going to happen if you direct the Committee of Education to interface with these people. Otherwise, they are so quiet, but a lot of information is flowing in the public, in the daily papers, New Vision, Monitor, and none of them is disputing what is coming out.
Government.
Information.
Government.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker and my dear colleagues, we very well know that schools were closed as a measure of enabling this country to fight off the COVID-19 that was eating up our people. And of course, the President was communicated after a lot of consultations. What's happening right now, we are trying to see to it that almost all our teachers get vaccinated, and very soon the public, including Parliament, will be informed. I'm happy to hear that the Honourable Secretary wants a comprehensive statement about when and how we are going to open. I just want to assure you, Right Honourable Speaker, that after the consultation and the advice of...
Thank you, Honourable Speaker and the Honourable Minister. It is at pain raising a point of order against the doctor, but it is also very important, Honourable Speaker, for people to hear and comprehend what members say. I have not said that I have a comprehensive report or statement. I said we want the Minister of Education to give this House a comprehensive statement on how schools will be opened. So is the Honourable Minister in order to not pay proper attention in this House? Yet, he's well known of being an educationist who is supposed to teach and train children without making mistakes in any particular lesson he teaches the children. And above all is the Minister of Education. Is he in order not to be very attentive in front of this august House? No speaker.
Honourable Minister, come with a comprehensive statement on the plan for opening schools. Honourable.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Let the Minister first come with a report on the strategic, the plan to open the schools, a comprehensive one.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Most obliged, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Madam, the procedure issue I am raising is whether the Minister should not be given time frame, because he may come here next year. But also, Madam Speaker, the international schools are operating. So when he says schools are closed, maybe closes the ones that are for the ordinary people. Where his grandchildren go international schools, the schools are open.
Minister, you need to give the House a report in 7 days.
Most obliged, Madam Speaker.
Joyce.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. For the record, my name is Joyce Bagala. I am the Woman Member of Parliament for Mityana District. I am rising on a matter of national importance, and Madam Speaker, it is a matter of life and death. We have been here discussing about the murders in Masaka District, in Greater Masaka. So today morning, Udaya in Mityana Municipality woke up to anonymous letters indicating that what is happening in Masaka is coming to Mityana. And they said they're going to start with the RDC and his entire office. So my prayers are that the Minister of Security, the Ministry, and the Ministry of Internal Affairs swing in action before someone loses life. Because even before, I think about a week back, there's a convent in Busunju, which is Mityana South, that was attacked. And the Reverend Father was injured. and a nun was also injured. We do not know if that is related to these anonymous letters, but it happened. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Oh, information.
Minister, I saw the Minister of Internal Affairs here.
Just you give us a few minutes, you can be handling another issue. I ensure the minister comes. And
Handling another issue, we want a team in that area to ensure that we protect the life of the people. Remember, that is how it started in Masaka. Now it is moving to Mityana. Next, it will move to another area. So we must take caution on that. Honorable Kirabo, Agnes, Youth.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I'm Chirabo Agnes, the youth representative for Central Region. I rise on a matter of national importance concerning the youth-led NGOs that were suspended on 20th August 2021 by the chairman of the NGO Bureau. For reasons of some not filing returns, others not have registered with the Bureau, and others operating with invalid permits. Right Honorable Speaker, to file returns for a year, but they've filed their returns, they've been on my neck to raise their issue, that they need to be given a chance.
Agnes, can you bring that, write it down, and should be brought on Prime Minister's time, so that we give the Prime Minister to investigate as to why they were closed, and then they give you a comprehensive response.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, because the youths have to work.
It's okay, you'll have a response next Thursday.
Thank you.
Susan Mugabe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, I'm Mugabe Susan Nakaziba, the woman representative for Buvuma District. Madam Speaker, allow me to appreciate the people of Buvuma who gave me this opportunity to represent them in the Parliament of Uganda. Madam Speaker, I'm here to raise an urgent matter of national importance. Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, over 100,000 people of Buvuma fishing community are living in fear over insecurity and panic caused by the Marine Police, Revenue Police, and the UPD Fishing Protection Unit. Madam Speaker, the Marine and the Revenue Police are confiscating fish, fuel, and the fishing gears, even when they are of the right size and of good quality. Madam Speaker, this is something done contrary to the duty of the Marine and the Revenue Police. I'd like to put your attention that the confiscated items are being traded by these security agencies and making it worse that they're asking for kickbacks from the fishermen, and abandoning them in the middle of the lake where there is no network. Madam Speaker,
what are your prayers?
Madam Speaker, my prayer is, but Madam Speaker, some things I would like, this is my maiden speech, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to emphasize my point, Madam Speaker, because this is my maiden speech.
Please, please continue.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as earlier on said about the 3 parallel security agencies, people believe that one of them is stealing their boat engines at gunpoint in the lakes for the last 3 weeks to date, especially in the sub-counties of Lubia, Liabana, Luaje, Bwema, and Bugaya. And this has brought a lot of confusion on which security agency to be followed by the fishermen in Buvuma district. Madam Speaker, allow me also to report to you that the illegal fishing suspects got by the UPD Fishing Protection Unit during their operations are being taken to Shitalia prison, neglecting Buvuma police and the public court, making it difficult for their relatives to access them. Madam Speaker, I'd like to inform you that most of these suspects are being brought from their houses very late in the night without any evidence but on assumption. And this has been witnessed in the sub-counties of Nairobi, Buoya, Busamuzi, and Buvuma Town Council. Madam Speaker, as a result, many people have lost livelihoods, and this has worsened the poverty levels in the district and contributed to heightened domestic violence in the families in my constituency. My prayer, Madam Speaker, let the ministers responsible for defense and fisheries address the enforcement issues in Buvuma district, investigate officers involved in extorting money and stealing the boat engines, the fish and fuel from my fishermen, and streamline the provision of security in the islands and ensure continuity of the livelihood of the fishermen in Buvuma district. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Susan, thank you. Minister of Fisheries and Security, you should go to Buvuma Islands and find out what is happening. Honorable, I've seen you, you're around, but what we don't want is just responding on what, when we don't have all the facts. When we don't have the facts. So we need to have the facts on what is happening in Buvuma. I don't know if you're a part of the meeting with the Minister of Fisheries. Were you part of the meeting?
Madam Speaker, I did not attend the meeting.
Now that's where the problem is.
I was not invited, Madam Speaker. I don't know why.
We announced in this house you should have a meeting, the minister should have a meeting. And Minister, do you have something to say? But all said and done, we need a solution. Whether she was part of the meeting or not, there must be a solution.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. And honourable colleagues, the issue of enforcement is so detailed. First and foremost is that people resist regulation. And we had a meeting of the sector minister meeting all the MPs from fishing communities. Like you ruled before, we are going to take up her matter and address this issue squarely and come here and report to this House. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Macho. But members, I want to guide you on matters that require policy should be brought at Prime Minister's time. And you could look at Rule 45, and it's purely matters that are very, very urgent, that is like between life and death, that should be brought as a matter of national importance. Honorable Macho.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I have sought on a matter of national importance, standing on a point of procedure that I brought yesterday. Right, Honorable Speaker, almost 80% of the business community who are working in importation of textiles are on strike in Kampala downtown shops. Right, Honorable Speaker, Uganda Revenue Authority is taxing imported textiles, a crisis whereby almost 100 containers are. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Uganda Revenue Authority, through their new taxation policy, instead of taxing percentages in terms of purchase price per textiles, are taxing textile traders a percentage that is very abnormal in terms of kilograms. And Right Honorable has been endless for almost 2 months because there is no flexibility and clarity between the Uganda Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Trade with the aim of helping traders to come out of this. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform my colleagues and the House at large that a 20-feet container, which was costing 30 to 40 million in terms of taxes, it is now costing almost 260 to 300. And this has made many importers to abandon their containers at the seaport and the warehouses. I'll give you later. My sister, I'll give you later. I'll give you later. Since you are there, MP, I'll give you later. Right, Honorable Speaker, at the same time, a 40-feet container that was costing almost 40 to 60 million to clear is taking 400 to 600 million shillings of Uganda. It has been 3 weeks since Kasita, the main organization body of the organizing traders. I'll give you. And you know you are a shadow minister, you'll speak after her. Right, Honorable Speaker, as I talk now.
Honorable Macho.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Macho, I am still chairing this house.
With apologies, Right, Honorable Speaker.
And your time is over. Can you give us your prayers?
With apologies, Right, Honorable Speaker.
Your prayers.
Right, Honorable Speaker, as I got my prayers. Right, Honorable Speaker, number of prayer, custom officers to calculate the cost vis-a-vis the tax. Second prayer, Right, Honorable Speaker, the traders who have almost 100 containers on seaports and warehouses, and this policy was passed when their goods were on transit, should be allowed to clear using the old tax regime. Prayer number 3, Right Honorable Speaker, Uganda Revenue Authority should adhere to World Trade Organization General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs, which is the basis of the invoice. My sister, you'll be ready. Which is the basis of the invoice, and it is the best method of evaluation as stipulated in Schedule number 4 of East African Customs Act. Information.
Thank you, honorable colleague, for giving way. I'm Shami Malende, the district woman representative for Kampala. The information I want to give my honorable colleague and this house is that actually the entire business community in Kampala is suffering currently because businesses are under, the Kasita and the business community are under a lockdown, and Right Honorable Speaker, The problem is that there has not been any practical government interventions on the ongoing evictions by the landlords. And also, the hawkers and the street vendors in Kampala operating along Namai
industry presented a comprehensive report on issues of trade, industry, and tourism, and it is yet to be debated. And during that presentation, Honorable Macho was in this house. Are we procedure moving? Procedure takes precedence. I'm on procedure.
He's on procedure.
And the rules are very clear. Procedure takes precedence over order. Right, Honorable Speaker, are we procedure moving well for Honorable Macho to preempt the debate and the issues being raised in the report of that committee which I belong? Are we procedure moving well, Madam Speaker?
When were the shops closed?
Clarification.
When were the shops closed?
Yesterday,
when was the shops closed? Yesterday.
Yesterday, right, Honorable Speaker.
It's a matter of national importance.
Yes.
And if they closed yesterday, the report was presented on Thursday, meaning the report did not capture what happened yesterday. A member of parliament can raise what happened our traders are suffering. So what we can now do is to send the Minister of Trade to go and find out what is happening. We have the minister here.
Why the Speaker?
Your order on what? Minister, can you talk?
Order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
No, Speaker.
Can we hear from the
Madam
minister?
Speaker, the point of order I'm raising.
Sit. Sit.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I want to thank the Honorable Macho for raising this important point. We have held discussions with Casita.
Members, are you listening? And don't send me cheats.
Okay. We have held discussions with the Casita representing traders on these important matters as government. And as of yesterday, we have come to an understanding that actually we should charge the 35% as opposed to what has been happening. And we think that the matter is being resolved unless there are some issues which have come up. We would request, Madam Speaker, that on Tuesday we can come here and make a statement on this matter, but we are handling this matter
Clarification, Madam Speaker.
But you see, that's the indiscipline I don't like, Honorable Seungu. The minister is saying he's coming with a report on the action taken. You want a clarification, This is a very serious issue. Can you sit? Seungu, I will apply Rule 79 on you.
So in brief, Madam Speaker, we have listened to the cry of the traders and we are handling this matter, and on Tuesday we shall come here to report to the houses that we have come up with together with the traders. I thank you.
And when you're meeting the traders, Honorable Minister, I want all the MPs of Kampala to be available, to be around in that meeting. Because there will be the same people coming here to make statements. So they should be part of the meeting for them to know what is taking place. Honorable Seungu, there is a chair in this house. Honorable Kawalia, Honorable Kawalia, I am Honorable Kawaliayo, on the same issue, it has been responded. I am communicating to you, Honorable Kawalia. It has been responded to. Can you make a follow-up with the minister that the meeting takes place and report back to this house on Tuesday? And the report we want is the action that has been taken, not lamentations. Honorable Beja?
Right Honorable Speaker, for the concern of record, I'm called Abeja Susan Jolly, Woman MP Otuke District. This is my maiden speech. Yes. I'm raising a matter of national importance, but before I do that, allow me also to congratulate you in that office of yours. We oversang and it is very good. You are really very good. My issue is the looming status of schools in Uganda. As my brother was crying for the day of getting back to school, it is opposite in my constituency. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, Otuke has got the worst status of schools. When you go to parishes, there are other parishes without primary schools. Uganda, there is a parish called Atira. Pupils are studying in a kraal, not even a school. I remember one day I shared the photos with you, and I'm glad today my minister is around. There are sub-counties without secondary schools amid this creation of more sub-counties and more parishes in Uganda. I don't support that. Honorable Speaker, in our schools in Otuke, you find that teachers are lacking accommodations. A school like Amwa Primary School, there are 14 teachers, but only 3 teachers are sleeping in school. Other teachers normally move far distance to their schools. They don't have accommodation. Other schools, they're sharing toilets. Toilets are not even enough in these schools. Honorable Speaker, I'm also here to let you inform that we have structures in Otuke that has been blown off by wind. And we are here, at times and when we are here, we are told not to spend our money to do government programs. But at times we are requested to roof these schools. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I'm also glad to let you inform that there was a project that was taken to Otuke district called Netherlands Project. Right, Honorable Speaker, allow me to request from the minister that my people are inquiring whether this project, the money was given to the ministry or it was allocated to the district local government, because there are structures which are not completed in these schools. Others are, the walls are there, but roofs are not there. Floors are being made, but there are no walls. So the status is not good. Right, Honorable Speaker, in Otuke, our teachers are crying. I have a letter that has been sent to you there, written by Haramoja, that has faced challenges of insurgencies. They have been accorded as hard to reach district, but Otuke has been ignored. Right, Honorable Speaker.
What's your prayer, Susan?
My prayers.
What's your prayer, Susan?
My prayer.
Doctor.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Are you from Otuke?
Yes, please. My name is Paul Omara, a member of Parliament for Otuke County. On a point of information to my colleague and to this House, Honorable Speaker, is that we have a USAID report under the theme Center for International Futures, November 2017. This report gives a lot of data about GDP and GDP per capita estimates for
116 districts of Uganda. Now, in that report, the Right Honorable Speaker, the worst or poor districts of Uganda is mentioned. From number 1 is Kagadi, with a GDP per capita of 56, followed by Aleptong, with a GDP per capita of $64 per capita. Now, from the report we have, yes, yes.
Don't worry, it is the prayers of Otuke.
Yes, it should be
Give us
included.
your prayers as Otuke.
It should be included as part of hard-to-reach districts of Uganda. I thank you.
Susan, do you still have another prayer?
Right Honorable Speaker, my last prayer is our civil servants are threatening to strike. That if the minister in charge does not visit them, they will lay down their tools.
Minister of Education. Minister of
No,
Education.
they have to respond. To accord the district as a hard-to-reach district. The minister must go to Otuke, and I'm going with him. Minister
of Education, you must...
Madam Speaker, information to the Minister.
Minister of Education, you must go to Otuke together with the members of Parliament of that area.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And my dear colleagues, I'll definitely do everything possible to go to Otuke district before this month comes.
And you report back to this House in 2 weeks on your findings. And you don't need only to go to Otuke, you can also check all the schools in northern Uganda.
So obliged, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
But I hope with Honorable Susan is aware that schools are closed, but I'll take all the trouble.
But you see now, you're moving from school to verify the status of the school.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'll definitely go and visit.
Thank you,
okay?
Thank you.
And report back to this House.
Next item.
Right Honorable Speaker, one other thing I wanted to add is that it's true, there are some areas that do
There
not...
is an order here, or somebody is ordering an elder.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when I was joining Parliament, I was given a book called The Rules of Procedure of Parliament, and I made sure I read it to make sure I do not offend any of the rules therein. Madam Speaker, I paid particular attention to Rule 82, which talks about dress code. So I went and I revamped my wardrobe, Madam Speaker. But Madam Speaker, there are colleagues who are yet to read that rule. There is a colleague on the other end who decided that he will just put on a shirt and a jacket in total contravention of Rule 82, Madam Speaker. Is the honorable member in order, Madam Speaker?
Honorable member, the dress code of this House is well defined under Rule 82. Honorable member, are you a member of this House?
Madam Speaker, even the colleague had put off his shoes.
Members, next item.
Item 3 on the order paper, statement on government business for the succeeding week, 7th to 9th September 2021.
Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, under rule in the House regarding meeting the following business for the succeeding week, 7th to 9th September 2021. Number 1, Charter for Fiscal Policy, Charter for Fiscal Responsibility 2021, 2022, 2025 to 2026. Statement on government plan to operationalize new cities. Proposal to borrow USD 119.1 for development of oil roads, million. Number 4, proposal to borrow USD millions 130 for East African crude oil pipeline, ECOP. On behalf of the Prime Minister, I beg to submit.
Item 4.
Thank you so much, Government Chief Whip. Honorable members, we've been given the business to follow in the preceding week. Please take note, and I urge you to prepare accordingly for what is going to come next week. Thank you. Yes, Ibrahim.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Rule 28 says the leader of government business shall. It does not allow any other person other than the Prime Minister. Because if you go to the Prime Minister's time, Rule 41, the rule allows the deputy if the Prime Minister is not there. And there is a reason we have these rules. The Honorable Government Whip may enjoy standing many times in Parliament, even to do what he's not enjoying to do. But this particular rule does not allow you. Rule 41 allows the deputy minister is not there to lead in the Prime Minister's time. This one does not allow any intruder can purport to be the Prime Minister and give when the rule says shall and does not create exception like a rule, the rule on Prime Minister's time does.
Members, the statement that has been sent, that was sent to my office, was signed by the Prime Minister Robin Navanja and leader of government business, and she requested the government chief whip to read on her behalf. Since it is signed by her, maybe what we can do is to tell her next time you should read it yourself.
Madam Speaker.
But it has been presented. Next item.
One of the rules of procedure. Item 4.1.
Right Honourable Speaker, as a parliamentary commissioner, I wish to lay the different reports of entities from the Auditor General Right Honourable Speaker, I wish to read reports of the Auditor General for the financial year ended 30th June 2018. First, on the Chenjojo Town Council, First, I'll lay the Chenjojo Town Council report from the Auditor General. B, I beg to lay the Chamaseke Town Council report. Hachibale Sub-County Kabarore District. Bihanga Sub-County Kamwenge District. Shirumya Sub-County Bundibujo District. Katewa Sub-County Bunyangabu District. Chisomoro Sub-County Bunyangabu District. Bubukwanga Sub-County Bundibujo District. Buhes Sub-County Bunyangabu District. South Division Fort Portal Municipal Council. Busaru Sub-County Bundibujo District. Bukonzo Sub-County Bundibujo District. Chamukube Town Council. Mpondwe Rubiriha Town Council. Right Honorable Speaker, still I beg to lay reports of the Auditor General.
Members, the reports of the Auditor General on the sub-counties on the financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2018, local government.
And distribution project, Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the Opio Moroto 132 kV transmission line project, Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited.
The reports being laid are reports of Auditor General on financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2019, and these are referred to commissions, statutory authorities, and state enterprises. That is COSASE. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there is a motion that was passed by this very House, not with specificity to this one, but by the 10th Parliament in May, as the 10th Parliament was coming to a close. That motion was moved by the Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafabi, and the motion was to the effect that Parliament adopted all the Auditor General's reports up until 30th June 2020. And Madam Speaker, as you know, my committee, COSASE, which I chair, we've had challenges and we've approached your office to deal with it, because we have wanted to look at those past years which were closed by that particular motion. Because what that motion meant is that COSASE, for example, fall within the ambit of 30th June. And that would mean that the other motion covers them. So, Madam Speaker, I request for you to guide us.
Why don't we first receive the reports? What I know you want is to bring your motion on the floor. You don't raise it here. You know how a motion is put on the order paper. So you don't raise it here. First receive the reports. Then you challenge what was being done in the 10th Parliament. So for now, let the committees first receive the reports. The rest will handle.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2020, on the Uganda Export Promotions Board, on the Uganda Communications Employees Contributory Pension Scheme, on the Embassy of the Republic of Uganda, Copenhagen, Denmark, on the Uganda National Oil Company, on the Opio Moroto 132 kV transmission line project, that is Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited, on the 132 kV Mirama Kabale
are referred to commissions, statutory authorities, and state enterprises, that's COSASE, while the report on the Embassy of the Republic of Uganda in Denmark is referred to Public Accounts Committee Central.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I wish to lay the reports from the Auditor General on the financial statements on Uganda Petroleum Fund for the 6-month period ended 31st December. On the Environment for Development Initiative Project Makerere University for the period of 1st January to 31st December 2019. On the Handcraft and Souvenir Development Project in Uganda for the year ended 31st December 2020. I beg to lay Right Honourable Speaker.
Reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements are referred to Public Accounts Committee, Central Government.
Item 5, motion for a resolution of Parliament to congratulate Honorable Achon Julius Bua for his induction into the World Olympians Association as an Olympian for life.
Honorable Achen Dokas of Alebtong. Members, we debated almost the same kind of motion last week. So we are giving this motion only 20 minutes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise under Rule 56 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to congratulate Honourable Achon Julius Bua for his induction into the World Association as an Olympian for life. Whereas Honourable Achon Julius Bua, a Member of Parliament for Tuke East County, is also a world-renowned middle distance runner with the following remarkable achievements. He won a gold medal in 1994 at the World Junior Athletics Championship in Lisbon, Portugal. In 1995, he won a bronze medal in 1,500 meters in Harare, Zimbabwe, at the All African Games. In 1996, he participated in the 1,500 meters race, finishing with a timing of 3 minutes, 43 seconds, and 8 microseconds at Olympic Games hosted by the USA in Atlanta City. In 1999, he set a national record in the 1,600 meters, a mile, with a timing of 3 minutes, 55 seconds, and 38 microseconds at the TFA Pro Championships in New York, United States, a record that stood for 22 years before it was broken. At the 2000 Olympics in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, in 1,500 meters, he qualified for the semi-finals and came 6th with a timing of 3 minutes, 40 seconds, and 32 microseconds. Recognizing that, due to the above unprecedented record, Honorable Achon Julius Bua was on 26th of July 2021 among the 5 people who were inducted into the World Olympians Association as Olympians for Life Olympic Games. Cognizant that only 5 Olympians are inducted into the Olympians for Life every 4 years. Noting that the Olympians for Life Award aims to celebrate the lives of Olympians who have left a positive and lasting legacy on the world, even after retiring from active sports, and further demonstrate that Olympic spirit lives on well beyond the Olympians competition days. And aware that Honorable Achon Julius Bua has reflected true Olympic spirit by founding Achon Uganda Children's Fund, constituting a health center grade 3 in Otuke district, He has been able to repair 100 boreholes, drilled 46 new boreholes, installed 2 solar-powered water pumps, and introduced the seed scheme to all the households in Otuke district. Acknowledging that it is imperative that his efforts are recognized, and this will help to encourage our young generation to embrace sports as a profession. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Parliament of Uganda congratulates Honorable Achon Julius Bua upon being inducted in the World Olympians Association as an Olympian for life. Also urges government to recognize Honorable Achon Julius Bua's tireless efforts in promoting Uganda by naming at least one of the stadiums or streets in Uganda, Achon Julius Bua. And also urges government to continuously sponsor athletes who embody true Olympian spirit to the Olympic Games.
Seconded by Kisa Stephen, Tom, Wangolo. The whole house is seconding it, including the youth. Even the government chief, with the whole house has seconded it. Yes, including Kawalia. Yes, speak to your motion.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, and Right Honourable colleagues. Right Honourable Julius Achon Bua is a true example of a resilient Olympian. Today, we can be able to recognize his hard work, his perseverance, and resilience that he has been able to demonstrate in order to be able to achieve the thrilling victories that we've seen in the past years. And the lesson that we pick from this as a country is that so many of our athletes go through a lot of hurdles. They go through a lot of tough times before they get to the point when they become champions. A lot is happening behind the scenes. In the case of Honorable Julius Achon Bua, I want to pick just a few examples. He was able to represent the country even during exercise, but he had to join the competition. He lacked transport. The following day, he had competition. And he was able to win 3 races in one day: 800 meters, 1,500 meters, and 3,000 meters in one day, even with the fatigue. This is the man who was able to join his colleagues in 1994 when he was representing Uganda in World Junior Athletics Championship in Lisbon. He boarded the plane on barefoot, without shoes again, representing the country Uganda. That level of resilience. He was only able to borrow a pair of shoes from a Kenyan colleague to be able to use for the competition. That level of resilience is what we are talking about. He didn't have it easy for him even along the line of education. And these are things that our young people are going through. He was given 1 year scholarship only in Lango College and was chased away from school just after 1 year on account of failure to pay school fees. Thanks to Makerere College, who was able to support him at the time until up to the time when he was able to get athletics scholarship, and he managed to graduate in 2011 in the University of Phoenix, Arizona, in Bachelor of Science in Communication, after going through so much hurdles. This is the man we are talking about. Honorable colleagues, amidst all these challenges, our government has never been able to recognize or even reward Honorable to recognize him. This is the man who has not given up the true Olympian spirit. He has been able, from support that he got from elsewhere, for example, the American people, he was able to construct a whole unit, Health Center Level 3, which is supporting women and children. This is the man. In 2019, he became the first athlete who ran 500 kilometers from Entebbe up to Lira via the East Coast. And that action alone enabled him to raise 700 million, which he used to drill 47 boreholes in Otuke. Honorable colleagues, the lesson we pick from this is that our young generation are going through so much. And for this reason, I implore our young generation throughout Uganda to be able to take a lesson from Honorable Julius Achonbua. And colleagues, today, Honorable Julius Achonbua has become someone in the entire global sports fraternity, which is the reason he was inducted into the Olympians for Life as the sole inductee who represented the whole of Africa. Allow me to salute World Olympians Association for recognizing our son of the soil as an Olympian for life at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. I believe that this recognition will go a long way in inspiring the young generation. And Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, this does not come easily. This comes as a result of resilience and preparation. If I may borrow words from Max Pitts, a 9-time Olympic champion who was a great swimmer, he indicated that nothing got him to where he was apart from preparing. And as a country, I want to reiterate to say that if we fail to plan, if we fail to prepare, we are surely preparing to fail. As a country, if we are to maintain this legacy and sustain some of these gains that Honorable Julius Achonbua and also other children of ours have been able to put forward, if we can sustain through dedicating adequate funding to support the sports sector, I think that will help us to nurture the great potentials that we have in this country. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and Right Honorable colleagues. I ask you to support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Achendokas. Seconder. Seconder. Seconder, you have only 3 minutes.
Oh.
You know, today is a Thursday, Prime Minister's time.
Thank you.
And she must start at 4.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to second this motion. Honorable Julius Achon, in 2013, invited His Excellency the President to commission Christina Health Center 3. His Excellency the President delegated me to represent him and commission this health facility. Madam Speaker, I had been reading about Achon. That was my first day to meet him. How he was able to run on bare feet 42 kilometers from Awake, present-day Otuke district to Lira district, and the rest is history. He ran on his bare feet and was able to win and represent his district at the national competitions. Madam Speaker, in 2014, Honorable Achon had constructed another block, staff house, where he again invited the President, and the President delegated me to represent him. But at the very first time when I went there, Achon said one thing. He told me all that I need. Let me also have this handshake from the President. Can I be recognized having won all these medals? And I said, fine, I will take the message to the President. His Excellency the President was able to meet Honorable Julius Achon with his wife, and what he requested for, Madam Speaker, was to be employed, but also sponsor him for his master's degree. When I went to commission the new staff houses, Madam Speaker, the job was not yet there. And I want to thank Honorable Chon for listening to me, because I saw a lot of support from the community. People loved him for having turned around their lives. This health facility has saved many mothers from dying. Many of the women could not move from Awake or Otuke to Lira district to just receive antenatal care services. He has turned around that community, reduced on the maternal mortality, and I told him, Honorable Chon, the job you are looking for, why don't you contest and become a member of parliament? Today, Honorable Chon is here as a member of parliament, having listened to me, and he won with a very big margin. Madam Speaker, I want to request the Olympians for Life are people who dedicate or devote their time in promoting peace and supporting other initiatives that improve on the lives of the people. The other Olympians are supported by their governments. I want to request, the Honorable Minister of Education was here, the Prime Minister is here. I want to request, Madam Speaker, this young man that has made us proud, I want to request government, he still needs to construct a theater in Awake at Christina Health Center 3. I want to request government to support him and turn this facility into a health center 4 by constructing this theater that is lacking. He has bought an ambulance, and those cases that cannot be managed at his health facility are quickly taken to Lira Regional Referral Hospital. Madam Speaker, this young man, Achon, was abducted by the Lord's Resistance Army. His mother killed by the same LRA. He constructed this health facility in memory of his sister, who lost her life while giving birth because she could not access health care services. We need to appreciate him for his big heart, Madam Speaker, and it's my humble appeal, Right Honorable Prime Minister, that government, in support of Achon as an Olympian, does give him the necessary support so that we turn Awake or Christina Health Center 3 into a health center 4. I beg to submit.
Thank you, members. Honorable members, I personally want to congratulate Honorable John Julius for having been inducted as an Olympian for life. Congratulations, and we wish you well. And kindly, Chairman, some members don't know who Achon is. Some members don't know who Achon. Are you Achon?
Ah.
Some members don't know who Achon is. Achon, just stand up, and members get to know you. Congratulations once more. As you remove the mask, some lady here wants to admire you. First, remove the mask, and that is Honorable Achon. And
thank you, Madam Speaker.
Tom.
And my dear colleagues.
Tom.
The Chairman of Athletics.
Tom. I told you to have respect. Okay, speak for 2 minutes. Tom, speak for 2 minutes. Imbwa, there is a chairman of football here.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and my dear colleagues. I hereby support the motion to congratulate Honorable Achon Julius Bua for his induction into the World Olympian Association for Life. I am called Alero Tom Aza, Member of Parliament for Westmoreland County, Chairman at Elementary Football Club. Honorable Achon Julius joined the parliamentary club in 2016 as the captain of the athletics club. Other members who participated in the club from 2011 to 2016 were, among others, Nuru Biamkama, Odongo Oto, Honorable Bagole, Honorable Zake, our commissioner, Honorable Pentagon, Honorable Mbua Tekama, who is also present here, and others. From 2014, Madam Speaker, to 2019, we had always collected bronze, silver, gold medals from the first, second, and third positions in 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters, 800 meters, 1,500 meters in the East African Community Interparliamentary Games for fast-tracking the integration of the East African Community member states. I would also like to congratulate all the Ugandan athletes who had previously participated and who got gold, silver, bronze medals. People like Dokas Njikuru, Joshua Cheptegei, Moses Kipsiro, Davis Kamoga, and so on. And Madam Speaker, I remember these people were promised on monthly allowance. I will also be grateful to government if our only Honorable Achon could also be put on that stipend.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand also to support the motion by congratulating Honorable Achon Julius for becoming a lifetime Olympian. Congratulations, my brother. Right Honorable Speaker, the Achon we are talking about, he's the only honorable who has been making us to win interparliamentary games. You know Kenya is good at running, they are very good at athletics, but Honorable Achon has tried to keep the candle of this parliament burning. Right Honorable Speaker, the move of the motion has talked about the resilience of Honorable Achon Julius. This is reflected one time as he was jogging in the morning around Namgongo. He encountered a dog, a stray dog, and it managed to bite him. And Honorable Achon, with his resilience, he chased the dog, grabbed the dog, killed the dog, and took it to police. This is the gentleman we are speaking about. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I know by grabbing a dog, he must have grabbed my brother, since I'm Umbwa. But I'm telling you, the guy can run faster than the dog. That is Honorable Achon Julius. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I also pray that government should recognize Honorable Achon, and we need, if anything, even Parliament, Right Honorable Speaker, we can even put a monument here in recognizing the works of
Nsanja.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker and honorable members, first of all, I am a former member, a team captain of the Uganda Parliament Football Club. So I speak from that background. Madam Speaker, in sports and games world over, there are two major factors that affect performance of a team or an individual. That is resources and discipline. I stand to testify that Honorable Achon Julius, it is evident that he is disciplined. We are proud of you, and we are proud of you, and indeed, you have made a tremendous contribution. Madam Speaker, I would want to implore our government to invest in sports, because indeed sports has ceased from being a mere leisure or recreation activity to a recreative commercial activity. For instance, in football, an international game is played and football funds are able to fund other sports. You will find an international game being watched by over 3 billion people, and Uganda is able, from taxes, to pay 600 million shillings to watch a Premier League game. Madam Speaker, it is important for government to revise the current law to suit the commercial activity such that private investors and creators are protected. Madam Speaker, world over, we have been emphasizing the issue of discipline.
We actually asked the minister to bring for us the plan. We hope he will bring in time. Honorable.
Thank you very much. My brother, Ashon Julius Bua, congratulations. I would like to add my voice to the youth of Uganda that we can make.
Is that Okumu?
Okumu Gabriel.
Okay. Mention your name so that the answer.
Okumu Gabriel, Member of Parliament for Okoro County in Zombo. I would like to add my voice to congratulate you and also to call upon you when we invite you to go around the country to inspire our youth. I would like to be on record that I'm extending an invitation to you to meet the so many talented youth in Zombo to inspire them. And I would like to also to speak to our youth of Uganda that from nothing we can make something. Madam Speaker, allow me extend my voice to government that we cannot do business as we did it yesterday. I would like to call upon the 11th Parliament that in this coming budget, we should fund the sports of Uganda once and for all. After all, we have a very high level of unemployment in Uganda. I would like to call the House, when the budget comes, let us support our youth. I beg to submit. Thank you very much.
Then Semujo, after you.
Thank you, Right Honorable. From the profile of our colleague, you can meaning that he struggled on his own, meaning that there are very many Ugandans who would like to be like him with the talent who have not yet been helped. So thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker, I come from Lugazi Municipality, where we have a lady by the name of Nakai Halima. Nakai Halima won gold in 2019. And when she was asked what she wanted by the president, her humble request was constructing a house for her parents. Right Honorable Speaker, Nakai's parents reside in one of the villages called Isese in Insacha Ward, Najembe Division, Lugazi Municipality, Buyukwe District. To date, as her parents are aging, they have never realized the pride of their daughter getting gold or being appreciated. Wherever these Olympians bring us gold, we are always very excited, but the excitement at times goes without being so much appreciated. Right Honorable Speaker, my humble prayer is the President and the government, they fulfill their promise, constructing a house and other promises to the parents of Nakai Halima, who is in my constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much.
Honorable Joe.
To participate in parliamentary games. Not only do I want to testify to his competence, but also to his conduct, very modest person. Honorable Chom, I congratulate you. Madam Speaker, sports in Uganda is one of the few sectors where I will not find children of leaders or their wives, because automatically, if in football you'll be substituted. It is the only sector where people grow because of merit. You can't fix your wife there or your son or in-laws. And that's why you will be here celebrating those who make it on merit. Maybe it is also the reason why it doesn't attract funding, because those at the top don't have their children and wives there. Because I imagine if Honorable Achom had been as connected as others we see rising, maybe the recognition should have come much, much, much earlier. It wouldn't take even a resolution of Parliament. I therefore want to invite, as we celebrate the competence of Honorable Achom, to invite those who are in the government to celebrate merit. If you are choosing a prime minister, choose the one that merit seat. If you are choosing a minister, choose one who merit seat. If you are choosing another DC, choose the one who merit seat. You don't even surprise people you are.
Order.
Santa Lum, Professor Mushemesa, Shadow will speak. Shadow will speak. I'm telling you, we have only 5 minutes, but we also need a statement from the minister. There is a minister here. Alum Santa.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I join colleagues in congratulating Honorable Julius Achon for the exceptional achievement that he has made for lifting our flag high. Madam Speaker, the mover of the motion brought forward many achievements by Honorable Achon. Among them is a gold, 1994, a bronze, 1996, and many others. But Madam Speaker, as I congratulate him, I want also to note that apart from these achievements at the global and national level, in the communities, Madam Speaker, the mover mentioned so many activities that he has done at the community level. But I want to note that he did not only do in Utuke. In Oyam district, where I represent, Honorable Achon has also made tremendous contribution to the community in my district. And I want to thank you and congratulate you so much. Madam Speaker, as a parliament, we have gained. As a nation, as a country, we have gained a lot. Madam Speaker, it should not only...
Rose Obiga, Professor Mushemesa.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. For the record, I'm Rose Obiga, woman MP, Terego. I join the rest of my colleagues, Madam Speaker, in congratulating my dear brother Achom. It is not easy, it needs persistence, it needs consistency, and you should be self-driven to arrive where he is. We are proud of Achom, and we ask Parliament to have something specific to show that this is our first child, our first colleague and brother who has moved an extra mile in games. I join the rest to thank.
Professor Mushemesa.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I support the motion and congratulate my brother, Honorable Achon. Honorable Achon was an athlete, and at his peak, I was in leadership of Uganda Athletics Federation. I remember two things about Honorable Achon. One, high level of preparedness before the games. He knew what to do. When it came to building endurance, he knew you would think that he was a sprinter. So he knew what decision to take during action. I want to support the proposal in the motion that Julius Achon Honorable should be rewarded by the Ugandan government as we have rewarded others. Thank you, Honorable
Thank
Speaker.
you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also want to add my voice on my colleagues to congratulate Honorable Achon Julius. He has not just made us proud on global. He's still doing the same because he still have the capability to run. When go for these games, there is nobody who can run better than Achom. So we thank you so much, and we want to request you to continue serving your country. Right Honorable Speaker, there is one problem that I'm seeing. We want to celebrate these people, but we don't know how they reach there.
We have so many children who are making us proud. Recently, we had our children who made it to international level. We cannot now talk about them here, but they are doing very well. But Madam Speaker, we just want to reap where we did not sow. These people want to be helped. They go through a lot. They go through a lot to reach where they have reached. We need to support them. We need to give them facilitation so that they can do better than how they are doing it. But Chom, we want to thank you and we want to congratulate you. Thank you so much.
Honorable Bahati. Then the Minister of Sports.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I rise once again to support the motion of congratulating my friend, Honorable Achom Julius. Colleagues, this motion is not only congratulating Honorable Achom, but it's a recognition of the potential our country has in terms of sports. When Honorable Achom won the gold and the bronze and all these prizes that he has achieved, he lifted the spirit of unity for this country. And we want to congratulate you and to wish you the very best for the future. There are so many Achoms in this country. There are so many Achoms in Lango, so many Achoms in Chigezi, so many of them in Iteso. As leaders of this country, it's our duty to make sure that this potential we have as a country and as a continent is fully realized. And on behalf of this side of government, I know the Minister of Sports will add on that the commitment we have led by sports is fully realized and fully supported. I congratulate you and I wish you the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Bahati. The Prime Minister, we recognize the arrival of the Vice President. Minister of Education, would you want to comment before the Prime Minister commits government? Mindful of the Prime Minister's time, we have already entered on Prime Minister's time.
Procedure, Speaker. Procedure.
Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on procedural matter.
Put on your mask.
I'm rising on procedural matter, Right Honorable Speaker. I put it on, but I didn't cover my mouth. Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. We are appreciating the achievement of Honorable Achon, and I think we are all concerned about it. Right Honorable Speaker, we know that the basketball team are now playing and winning in Rwanda, and they are being chased out of the hotel because they have not been paid. So I wanted question on the table before the minister makes a reply. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, it is important that we facilitate the several Achon who are scattered all over Uganda. In Dokoro, we have so many Achon who have even played in Britain barefooted. So the Achons are there. You go to Kapchorwa, they are there. You go to Teso, they are there. We should promote them.
So what is the procedure?
So Right Honorable Speaker, the procedure is that our team right now playing in Karamoja, in Rwanda, must be facilitated. And secondly, the basketball team. And secondly, can we facilitate the young sportsmen and women who are coming up? Right Honorable Speaker.
Emma Cecilia, you just smuggled in your issue. It was not a procedural matter. Can we have the minister just briefly?
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, I want to join Parliament of the Republic of Uganda to pay tribute to our very own Honorable Julius Achon. Let me declare my interest that myself and the late John Akibwa and Achon are related. That is why Achon is from Otuke, I am from Aleptong. So we are related. Madam Speaker, in every cycle of the Olympic Games, 5 former Olympians are chosen each from every continent of the world to be inducted into this prestigious Hall of Honor. For the 2020 Olympic Games, in the entire continent of Africa, it was only this Ugandan called Honorable Julius Achon who was inducted into this Hall of Honor. The Honorable Achon has a story, Right Honorable Speaker. The story is very, very humbling and yet inspiring and motivating to young athletes in Uganda. When you sit with Honorable Achon, he tells you his story, you feel like where he came from and where he is cannot meet, but he's here serving his second consecutive term. As government, Madam Speaker, we want to use the story of people like Honorable Achon to better the lifetime of sportsmen and women, especially the emerging sportsmen of our generation. And we can only do this by doing 2 or 3 things. Very, very important among them is the issue of the sports infrastructure. Achon could have gotten an opportunity to speak, but when you meet Achon, what he says is that, for me, at least I am alive and I'm surviving. But what about this person who motivated me? The late John Akibwa. I have always consoled him that we are pushing. Madam Speaker, you remember you made an order or you directed that this parliament be briefed on the state of affairs in terms of securing the grant for construction. Gave us 2 weeks, especially the Minister of Finance. Because the Minister of Education and Sports, we are done with our role in as far as the construction of these 2 stadia are concerned. Madam Speaker, we also have a responsibility in this parliament. Finally, Madam Speaker, to the point raised by Honorable Cicely Agwal, the government of the Republic of Uganda funded the national basketball team for the Afro basketball finals in Rwanda to a tune of 340 million Uganda shillings. The hotel where the team is currently residing, we have information that despite the fact that the tournament is ending on the 5th of September, the hotel has been paid duly up to the 7th of September 2021. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, Prime Minister. You people, I've always told you, Atkins, you've just come back. That for you have the time to walk out from here, come back, go, come back. Less on a Prime Minister. Me, I sit here from the time I come until we leave.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues. Allow me, on behalf of government, to join you colleagues in congratulating our brother, the Honorable Julius Achon, who was with me in the 10th Parliament. I want to also thank him for ably using the little resources he gets to better the lives of his people. He talked of, members talked of constructing a health facility in one of his areas. I want to commit government. Since the President has already directed me and the Minister of Health to come up with a framework paper where we shall recruit doctors at sub-county health center 3s. And I believe this is where Honorable Achomu's facility falls. So I want to commit that we shall, as government, send a helping hand so that the communities, the intended communities, can get an operational theater, and also, because this is where we are going right now. So brothers and sisters, honorable members, allow me to once again congratulate you, brother, for having made our country proud.
Prime Minister, thank you so much. Since the young man who is being talked about is here, can you just say a word to the House? A word to the House.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. I feel like crying, but the cry of joy. I encourage you not to shed tears in a bad way. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you, I want to thank honorable members for congratulating me when I'm still alive. I appreciate it. Small district called Otuke, small country called Uganda, was on top of the world on 25th July 2021. Madam Speaker, when my story is told, makes me feel like I was one of the greatest athletes on the planet. But when God prepares something for a poor man who will never be rotten, I want to say a few words to the world as and celebrate together. The power and the fame we obtain from our achievement that matters. Rather, it is what we do with it. That life gave me a focus on what matters most to my people who focus a great challenge in Otuke. Madam Speaker, when I speak, is the joy of people of Otuke who brought me here. When I speak, I talk for the joy of this country. When I was competing in 1994, northern Uganda was in hell. People were sleeping in the bush. Who helped me? Christopher Mugisa from Makere College School, white men from United States, Virginia States, who took me into his house and catered for me as adopted child. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I encourage you to do the best. When God has picked you, it picked you for the purpose. Whatever you call, this is what I'm going to say. This is my message. You, and it's the lesson that I've learned, that never give up. God by whatever name you call him, is watching every effort you make. In your time, and the time is coming. Lastly, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the journey is not over after the medal. Many times when we hit a goal or accomplish the mission, we sit back, relax, enjoy. I love sport greatly, but my fame got illuminated, not on the spot. Honorable members, I say this opportunity for God and my country. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Thank you, Honorable Chon, and congratulations once more. Honorable members, we've had enough debate. I now put a question on the motion of resolution of Parliament to congratulate Honorable Chon Julius Bua for his induction into the World Olympian Association as Olympian. For those in favor, say aye, and against, the ayes have it.
Madam Speaker, this motion is to recognize the Honorable Achong. The second one was to pay him like other athletes have been paid. In fact, I thought that when the three ministers spoke, the Honorable Obua, the Honorable Bahati, and the Prime Minister, that they are going to tell us how those two prayers will be implemented. One, recognizing Honorable Achom, and two, paying him like other athletes. Unfortunately, they also just enjoyed making contribution. Because government does not speak like an ordinary MP.
Actually,
government answers prayers. Madam Speaker, that's the procedure issue I am raising.
The Prime Minister committed herself to make a follow-up on the resolutions that were made here. No, including the payment. Including the payment. So whatever has been said here, you must follow it up as the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, I must report to you that we are not happy. We were supposed to have a statement from tourism at 2. The person responsible, the minister responsible, was not there in time. We were supposed to have a report from finance. Also, they were not available. This house cannot be waiting for people. It was in the chairperson's communication, and we're supposed to have it immediately. I have seen the ministers coming when the time has passed. Kindly whip your ministers to be here in time when they are supposed to make statements. You make your government chief whip look like he doesn't know what he's doing. That young man suffers a lot. So it is not good. We asked for reports today, and they came at their own time. It's a sacrifice to be here, to be seated here from 2, and you come at 4. For you, you come at 4 because your time is 4. Prime Minister's time.
Item 7, Prime Minister's time.
Madam Speaker, procedure. Because, and I'm very, very sorry. You see, the lead of government business is supposed to be Western.
Honorable Semuju. Honorable Semuju. Order. Honorable Semuju.
Madam, I am on procedure.
NRM.
I am on
and
procedure.
And is the government chief. Order.
Procedure takes precedent. You've taken long. So, Madam, the procedure issue I am raising is whether the Prime Minister, leader of government business, must not be coming to Parliament here to lead her team, abandon her work to Honorable Tayewa, whose job is described in our Rules of Procedure and Administration of Parliament Act as mobilizing MPs to attend. And then he's the one answering, taking notice.
Honorable Semuju, all these days we've been having the Deputy Prime Minister. All the days we've had a Prime Minister in the House. And the Prime Minister in the House who has been here was Hajat who? Nakadama. So she was represented. And today she has come herself. We must be mindful she's also busy. And there are 3 people in that office. Once the deputy comes, that means she's here. Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I feel I should talk. When I was appointed Prime Minister, my brother, he claims to be my friend. He ably went on TV and he claimed I cannot even manage a garbage company. Right Honorable Speaker, I have been watching him on TV, castigating. I feel I want to ask him in front of everybody present, because I think enough is enough. What is it that you want from me as an individual?
Can everybody sit? Prime Minister, it is Prime Minister's time.
Okay, that was by the way. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I want to
Honorable Semuju.
Allow me, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Semuju, kindly allow the Prime Minister answer the questions. Fine, you respond.
Right Honorable Speaker, no.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. If the Prime Minister focused, if she focused
Members, this is not a market.
Madam Speaker, if the Prime Minister focused on answering, I certainly wouldn't be standing here on order. But for her to suggest in the broad daylight that there is something I want from her.
Now, Honorable Semuju. Honorable Semuju, the Prime Minister was raising on the matter where you said she's never in the house. That she's never in the house, and that's why she was reacting like that. But I clarified that the Prime Minister is always in the house. And let's not take anything personal, members. We are in this house today, tomorrow we will leave, other people will come. Whether we are fishermen, we are fisherwomen, whichever, it is our luck. You get it, eh? So, why would you? Eh? So, let's live, let's coexist. Honorable Prime Minister, can you
Thank you so much
respond? Are you around?
If he's not, I can
He's not there, you can repeat.
Right Honorable Speaker, the other time I would ask the questions and then answer.
He's not in?
If he's not here, then let me go through the questions. Right Honorable Speaker, on 8th of August 2019, that the Office of the Prime Minister of the President directed the Minister for Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Office of the Prime Minister, to provide a relief support into a loss of livelihood sources, breakdown of classroom blocks, hence affecting teaching and learning of children in that area. Since then, up to date, none of the affected persons and institutions have benefited from the relief aid. The impact of this disaster has remained fresh in the minds and livelihoods of the victims. The relief items requested included food, iron sheets, and other building materials, planting materials, household items, among others. The question was, can you assure the victims of the disaster as to when your office is providing relief support? My answer is, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, my office receives requests for relief support from all parts of the country. The Department of Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Management reviews each request to establish its merit and sends a technical team to undertake a verification assessment and seeks further details and clarification from the respective district chief administrative officers, the district disaster management committees, focal person, and focus about the disaster incidents, the office of the Prime Minister to the victims in the shortest time possible. In the event, the mandate of my office, for example, reconstruction of damaged schools and other structures, planting materials, building materials, to mention but a few, my office forwards such requests to the respective sector ministries for appropriate action. In this particular case, involving victims of heavy storm, meantime, Honorable colleague, I have directed a technical team to work with the local authorities to establish the current situation and needs of the victims, and an appropriate action will be taken within 2 weeks from now. And Honorable Etuka Isaac, I want to request that we keep in touch so that still the same Member of Parliament, he asked a question that on 8th August 2019, Honorable Nawe Moreka Mukama, then Principal Private Secretary to the President, in a letter addressed to the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education and Sports, directed that new classroom blocks should be constructed at Kati and at Tereva primary schools following a heavy storm that disorganized classroom blocks in those two primary schools. Since 2019 to date, children in these two schools learn under trees. This affects the teaching and learning of those children in that area. He wanted me to update the country and the communities of the two primary schools as to when these classroom blocks will be constructed. My response is, due to funding constraints, works at Kati and Tereva primary schools. As a way forward, I have directed the ministry to dispatch a team of engineers to conduct a needs assessment in the two schools to ensure that they are budgeted for in the next financial year 2022-2023 for implementation. The same Member of Parliament asked another question that on 15th July 2020, in a letter signed by Eileen Kauma, Mrs., the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Sports, addressed to the undersigned in a response to a letter dated 28th May 2020 to the First Lady and the Minister of Education and Sports. The Minister claimed that he forwarded the issue of constructing Anyiribu and Attack seed construction. My response is, his question was, when is the actual construction of these two schools starting? My response is, I want to confirm that the two sub-counties have both been earmarked to benefit under the Uganda Secondary Education Expansion Project. This project is to be funded by a loan facility from World Bank, and it is currently before Parliament for approval. The project will see 116 new secondary schools in the sub-counties without and expand 61 existing government secondary schools. Airibu sub-county will receive a seed school under the second phase of the Uganda Secondary Education Expansion Project, while Afak Secondary School has been earmarked as one of the 61 schools for expansion under the same project. For ease of reference, I have attached a list of beneficial schools as topographical surveys and land confirmation have been concluded. The Minister of Education and Sports is yet to embark on the procurement process for the contractors to undertake the civil works this financial year, 2021-2022, upon approval of the loan by Parliament. It is also not true that a contractor of Anyiribu was diverted. In 2017-2018, Government of Uganda undertook construction of 12 seed secondary schools, among which was Pawa Seed Secondary School in Arua district then, before Madi Okoro was created as a district. A total budget of shillings 1.4 billion was allocated over 2 financial years, that is 2017-2018, 2018-2019, for the completion of Pawa Seed Secondary School. A request by Arua District local government to move the secondary batch of funds, shillings 700, in the financial year 2018-2019 was not honored since the funds were initially appropriated for one school, that's Pawa Seed School, which has since been completed. Colleagues, I have attached this list. There are other areas in the country for your information, and of course, follow up. The number, I don't want to go through them. Since you have this on your iPad, you can go through all these lists, and most districts have really benefited. In a letter addressed to the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Water and Environment, dated 13th July 2017, by Nawe Mole Kamukama, Mrs., then the Principal Private Secretary, to His Excellency the President, the Minister was directed to find water solutions for the people of Madi Okoro County. Since then, no action, according to him, has been taken to help the people in the water-stressed area of Madi Okoro. He was asking me whether I can assure the people of Upper Madi County and Madi Okoro District at large on the progress of providing piped water to the people of Madi Okoro, since boreholes have failed particularly in larger parts of Okero and Nyurubu sub-counties, Upper Madi. My response is in regard to the issue raised by Honorable on implementing a presidential directive on improving water availability on the coverage in Madi Okero. I wish to inform honorable members and Right Honorable Speaker that the Ministry of Water and Environment has undertaken the interventions in the 3 areas of safe water supply for domestic use, and water for production, and water for irrigation. The safe water access rate in Madi Okoro district vary from 39 in Pawa sub-county to 95 in Okero sub-county. Madi Okero has 427 domestic water points, which serve a total of 814 people in the rural areas. Honorable Speaker, Madi Okoro district receives funding from central government under the district water and sanitation conditional grant to implement water and sanitation activities within the district. For financial year 2020 of 802,445,777 for water supply and sanitation development within the district. It is important to note that Madi Okoro constituency, they are planned interventions under the Integrated Water Management and Development Project funded by World Bank and under the Ministry of Water and Environment. This is to construct Ola, which has reached its final design stage, and a tender for construction will be issued. This scheme with Ogoko, Paol, and Afak, the sources of water for this scheme is the river Nyagak. A second water supply system under the same project above is Anyao water supply and sanitation system, covering parts of Adupi and Aliam in the present-day Terego district. Ligbo in Nimadi Okoro district, and Aliwa in Aliwa sub-county in Yumbe district. The refugee settlements in the project area include Reno Camp and Vepi in Wariam and Odupi sub-counties in Terego district, and Vidividi Zone 5 refugee settlement in Aliwa sub-county in Yumbe district. Under the same project, honorable colleagues, 2 solar-powered water supply systems will be implemented in Imad Okoro, in Ewang, and Drayo in Achodri sub-county in Terego district. Colleagues, attached Appendix C shows, the table shows you the coverage of water and sanitation as of 1st September 2021. The detailed breakdown is equally attached. Still, the President pledged to tarmac a number of roads in Mitiana district, including Kanonimusigi Mitiana Road and the Kabasanda Kakindo Wabigalo Mitiana Road, and subsequently the feasibility studies and detailed engineering designs of the roads were done according to Uganda National Roads Authority. Annual report of 2019-2020. The questions are, may I know from me, he wants to know from me about the status of the road. He's also trying to find out, is there any plan to compensate the project affected persons? And if yes, how far has government gone with this move? Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, Honorable members, the Honorable member requested for an update on the status of the following roads. Number 1, Kanoni Misiji Mitiana Road and the Kabasanda Kakindo Wabigaro Mitiana Road. These are national roads which are managed by the Ministry of Works and Transport through the Uganda National Roads Authority. However, the Kakindo Wabigaro Mitiana is a feeder road managed by the district. Kanoni Misiji Mitiana is 39 kilometers. Honorable Speaker, the Kanoni Misiji Mitiana Road is an existing gravel in the central region of Uganda. The road was prioritized for upgrade to the paved standard under the Integrated Transport Infrastructure and Services Program in the 3rd National Development. The designs for the upgrading of the road were completed in 2018. The Honorable Member also requested for information on if there is any plan to compensate the project affected persons on the same road project. The government will ensure that all the affected persons, like it has been doing before, are adequately compensated for any land that is taken to be used in the road works. Honorable Speaker, Kakindo Wabigaro Mitiana Road is from Kabasanda, where they are upgraded to paved standard under the MPG Town Roads upgrading. I want to assure you, honorable colleagues, Honorable Speaker, that all the honorable members of parliament of the following, that the Ministry of Works through UNRA will ensure the upgrading of the Kanoni Msiji Mitiana Road is implemented as planned in the NTP 3 period. And that two, the Ministry of Works and Transport will ensure that the Kabasanda Kakindo Wabigaro Mitiana Road is maintained in the motor-able condition. In conclusion, honorable members and honorable colleagues, honorable Speaker, government is committed to ensuring that key transport infrastructure is developed and maintained to support the national programs aimed at socio-economic transformation of Uganda. And the government will ensure that the key transport routes across the country are developed and maintained. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Information, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Prime Minister.
Information, Madam Speaker.
Response to those queries. Honorable Kalwanga.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there's something that is missing in the explanation Right Honorable Prime Minister has given. These were pledges in 2006, and they are not supposed to be repaired. We are looking at tarmacking them. So if you're telling me to go to UNRA, it's quite unfair. We need to understand whether they're going to be tarmacked, and that's it. Thank you very much.
He's looking at tarmacking vis-a-vis maintenance.
Right Honorable Speaker, like I said, the roads that are under NDP 3 will be tarmacked as programmed by government.
Is that clarified?
Madam Speaker, I'm happy with it.
Okay.
That is, if the pledge is going to be
okay,
impressed.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Matov Charles, Member of Parliament representing Busolo South constituency. Madam Speaker, I rise under Rule 41.3. On 22nd July 2021, I wrote a question for Prime Minister's time. I forwarded the same to the Clerk to Parliament for response. I'm told that the question was forwarded to the Prime Minister and the lead of government business. The question relates to health concerns, where in Busi sub-county, a total of over 35,000 people are using dilapidated toilet facilities. My question was for intervention by government to erect toilets.
Charles.
Yes.
If you wrote a question,
yes,
it's going to be responded to.
Well, the Prime Minister has just answered questions of 8th August.
When did you write?
22nd July. And another one on 29th July. So my question was, what procedure does she use for the selective response to some questions? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You know what happens? They don't go by dates. They do kind of a raffle. They just select 15 questions and pass it on. So yours could be coming in. But if it is urgent, it's really very urgent, please walk to the Prime Minister's office. If it is really very urgent, Prime Minister's office is open. If it is concerning any minister, we've advised our ministers that they should be accommodative of members of Parliament.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. But the raffle says 15 questions, and she has only attended to only 5 questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker,
my curiosity has been aroused by the concern of the honorable member from Busiro that his questions have been lagging with the Prime Minister, or whatever they are lagging for this more robust and cogent responses. So we amended the rules. Otherwise, the Prime Minister was supposed to answer instantly. So even when members write, the Prime Minister chooses when. And now members are speaking about months. Mr. Speaker, don't you think we need to have a more plausible and acceptable response at why members' questions are lagging, whatever they are lagging?
I want to refer you, Leader of Opposition, to your Rules of Procedure 41(4). The clerk shall enter all questions in the Prime Minister's question book, record book, and select 15 questions by raffle. By raffle, which shall be forwarded to the Prime Minister. So the question would be, were the 15 questions forwarded to the Prime Minister? And if the 15, we will follow that up with the clerk and make sure that the questions are always forwarded to the Minister. Mr. Okema, take note. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honourable Prime Minister. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I recall the directives. Can we get an update from the chair of the Rules Committee on this matter? Because as you can see, these rules are really unfair and are going to disadvantage members. So I want to request that you you direct the chair of the Rules Committee to give us an update on how far they have gone on this matter.
We actually said the chair should look at the rules exhaustively, not really in a particular rule 41. So we'll wait, we'll ask Honorable Katon to review all the rules and bring back to this House. Yes.
Yeah, right, because you could see, really can see that sub-rule 4. Of course, not that we are, mistrusting of the clerk. Who attends the raffle where the clerk is tossing around these questions? Who is in attendance to determine whether the selection is not convenient for convenience, so that members are properly serviced? I would like to appeal to the Speaker to even reassert the urgency of this, that members are facilitated, Right Honourable Speaker.
Actually, even the time limitation of the Prime Minister's time should not take only 45 minutes. Assuming the Prime Minister had the 15 questions, it would still limit her within the 15 minutes. Maybe she should only end up answering 3 or 4 questions. So that really raises an issue.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. I want to invite the Prime Minister to take time on Wednesday to watch the question time in the British Parliament. Prime Ministers in British, where we copy this culture, don't give lectures, they answer questions. In fact, on Wednesday, the Prime Minister can answer 100 questions in 30 minutes. So I want to invite her to take off time, watch the British Parliament on Wednesday. They have a whole channel for Parliament. It will give you knowledge on how to answer questions, such that you don't answer 5 when the rule says you answer 15.
Thank you.
And they have to be written.
Right Honourable. A senior colleague, Honourable Semuju Uganda, has always reminded us every day here, Right Honourable, that we must follow the rules of procedure. That we should always follow the rules of procedure. Right Honourable Speaker, the questions have been brought to the Prime Minister, and the question is brought to the Prime Minister. Our question is she answered. Right Honourable, I want to assure you that Honorable Mpuga doesn't have any evidence that there is any question
Why are you
which
talking
has
about
been
Mpuga?
brought. Which has
Why are
been
you
brought.
talking about Honorable Mpuga? Is it
Sorry,
the one
sorry. I'm so sorry. Honorable Uganda, question has been brought to the Prime Minister and she has not entered. We have a very clear Rule 41 where questions should be published so that maybe members can know their questions were taken to the Prime Minister or not. Is it in order for a senior legislator to keep ridiculing colleagues that for them to know how to do their work, they should go on TV? Because Honorable Mpuga has failed so big, Honorable Uganda has failed so big in this house.
You see?
Maybe we create a chamber for him that he is above us.
Clarification, Right Honorable.
Is he in order to continue belittling colleagues this way?
On the procedure.
Clarification, Right Honorable.
Members, I had already made a ruling that let the clerk make sure the 15 questions. If you want to fight, you go and fight in the corridor. I have made a ruling, let the clerk make sure the 15 questions are always given to the... Members, let the 15 questions be always given to the Prime Minister, and those who are also doing the raffle must look at the dates when the questions were brought on board. Look at the dates, not just and of course the rules also say they should be published. If possible, you should be able to publish the questions that have been answered, that have been responded to, and what is pending. I know you have a lot what is pending, so what you can do, you can actually this time send more than 15, so that they respond 15 as they prepare for the other 15. And we move on, the next item.
Item 6, presentation of reports on the implementation of the Myoga program in various regions of the
Procedure, Madam Speaker.
Renzori, members, you remember we asked you to go to the field, and when we asked you to go to the field, you were supposed to, we gave you a recess on a fact-finding mission on a Myoga.
Procedure on Rule
A
59.
Myoga was given out to our people, and we needed to learn some lessons from
Procedure.
Procedure, Madam
Procedure,
Speaker.
Madam
Rule
Speaker.
number 59.
Procedure, Madam
Motion without notice. Rule
Under
59.
Rule 86, Right Honorable.
Honorable Ruhunda, Alex is representing for Renzori sub-region.
Thank you very much. My fellow Renzorian is here. Thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on the 12th sitting of the first meeting of the first session of Uganda, held on Tuesday, 3rd August, to conduct oversight assessment of the Myoga program in their constituencies. And we, as members of parliament from our region, we divided ourselves in our respective constituencies and conducted a number of meetings, engagements to this effect. I have to say that we did not exhaust all that was required because of the time frame, but also the COVID restrictions, and also in some cases unavailability of some of the Myoga members respectively. But largely, we managed to collect what I'm going to present. I will not go to the background of Emyoga, as everyone knows about it, how it started. All of that information is available. The objectives of Emyoga are very few: increased employment, job opportunities for the less privileged but active Ugandans, increase access to specialized financial services to rural areas, improving household income of the project beneficiaries, and enhanced entrepreneurial capacity of different categories through sensitization, skilling, and tooling. I will go to page 3, where bust for each district. And I have to report that out of the 9 districts plus 1 city, funds were disbursed to these districts, and the money, 90% of the circles, Emyoga, they received the money. The table shows detailed breakdown for each district. For purposes of time, I will just make a summary. Zori sub-region in total had 447 registered Emyoga circles, and in total received 11,730 million Uganda shillings. But out of the 10 districts, including a city, we were shocked that Chegegwa district did not get any money of Emyoga. So up to now, the files are still stuck in the RDC office, and there is the people of Chegegwa are very disgusted about not having the chance of accessing the Emyoga money. As I explained earlier on the methodology and the type of questions which were asked, we were much more interested to know whether money was released, the criteria used for distributing Emyoga funds, who qualifies for the funds, which circles groups were registered, what are the accountability measures for the beneficiaries, do they exist, the safeguards which have been put in place to ensure the funds which have been disbursed are paid back, were there extortion from the public involved, including the bank accounts. Now I go to the findings. In all the entire districts, it was realized that the timing of the Emyoga program coincided with the political campaign period, leading to the populace misconstruing it to be a political reward. In some instances, transfers of cash to accounts were done immediately after elections, and as such, many beneficiaries saw it as a program, especially when it comes to loan recoveries. Number 2, limited knowledge on proper bookkeeping for circle treasurers and leaders, leading to poor financial records for most circles that were visited. The planning of this program was skewed because it did not allow communities to participate in identifying their problems so that solutions could be meaningfully found and ownership addressed. Determining the enterprises from the implementation side and not the beneficiary side caused some communities to simply attach themselves to the enterprises they had no idea about. So just people were there running around with commercial officers and RDCs just fulfill the need for getting the money, but the real essence of how they can make use of this money and multiply wealth was quite absent. Delayed supervision to the SACCOs. During the field visit, we were surprised to learn that Microfinance Support Center was supposed to pay a monthly facilitation of $200,000 to each sub-county CDO and $300,000 to the district CDO and commercial officer. We found out that the CDOs were last paid in December 2020 and had over 7 months they were claiming in arrears. This non-payment and failure of MSC fulfilled the contractual promises greatly affected the Myoga program. 31 CDOs, for instance, in Chenjojo, times 7 months, times 200,000. You can imagine. So MSC promised to pay the staff in arrears, but the question that remained unanswered was where they were going to get those funds when the financial year already ended. So the arrangement, as you know how districts operate, these commercial officers and the CDOs are starved. They don't have a budget that can enable them to move to the field, monitor, do appraisals, and ensure that they are right enterprises that are being financed. So at the end of the day, they were just doing paperwork and in some cases, interest engagements. There were delays on the side of MSC to process certificates of some SACCOs. For example, by the time of the visit, one Myoga SACCO of Mwenge South, local leaders, has not yet received registration certificate, and this is worse when it comes to Kegegwa district. We found out that SACCOs with fewer associations, like the tax operators SACCO, carpenters SACCO, welders, saloons, PWDs, and media SACCOs were the worst performing entities, with some indicators that the Myoga cash could have been shared, though the groups are fighting through making loan recoveries. On the other hand, SACCOs with many associations and members many association members were doing fairly well. These were traditional SACCOs which were well established and just followed tune, like women entrepreneurs, veterans, market vendors, and produce dealers. They showed clear indicators of performance and loan recoveries. Some were on schedule. The higher commitment amount of saving required for associations, that is 30%, to access a bigger loan from the seed capital is a big challenge. And as such, people end up taking loans of less than 500,000, which cannot create much impact. The seed capital all, especially for associations with very many members, women in position, some go to 1,000 members. This 30 million was really very, very small for such groups. Of course, the effects of COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, just like any other business, Myoga SACCOs have been equally hit. This has been now used as an excuse for most of the groups which are failing to recover the planned loan recoveries. The whole notion was that after 6 months, then recoveries are being made. There are no coordinated guidelines put in place for effective management of the Myoga program. On asking why was delay of the people to access the 30 million, Right Honorable Speaker, the district commercial officers expressed that microfinance effective constituency SACCOs to appoint their bank signatories. There was a big information gap on what was going on, what would be required next, and this subjected them to extortionists in the guise that they were all required from Myoga beneficiaries. Some misunderstandings had started developing between some SACCO leaderships for a number of reasons, including lack of appropriate information. This caused the threat that maybe would not be allowed to access their money as a result. The planning of this program, as I stated earlier, was skewed because it did not allow communities to participate in identifying their problems so that the solutions could be meaningful and owned, determining the enterprises from the implementation side and not the beneficiary side. So, observations, Madam Speaker. In general, it was established that The Microfinance Support Center disbursed funds to the district's respective accounts as required by the terms and conditions. In all the districts of the region, it is only Chegegwa district where funds have not been accessed by the Myoga circles to date. The notion of a Myoga comes out to be very attractive with good intent to enable the lowest person access cheaper credit, but the mechanism in which it has been executed falls short of the desired goals. There is very little impact of the Myoga program given the time frame, and whenever a development program is established, members of parliament, district council members, RDCs, and other relevant leaders be given adequate information so that we avoid a recurrence of us doing post-mortem like we are now doing on Myoga. I think we did that with the other programs like Ntandikwa and so on. The local people should not continue to be excited or incited to just form groups for receiving money, but rather they form purposeful associations where they themselves collect the starting capital themselves and are supported along their way. So there is great need for mindset awareness in this regard. This bottom-up ownership is extremely important if we are to empower our people. I now, Madam Speaker, move to recommendations which will lead to the conclusion. Microfinance Support Center should come up and support operationalization of this program. If that is done, better achievements will be registered if there are financial support and other synergies to this effect. Commercial officers and CDOs need to be facilitated to train, monitor, and supervise the Myoga program. The Microfinance Support Center should add more capital to those circles performing better as to bridge the gap arising out of the demands from the registered associations in the respective Myoga circles. Need for continuous and vigorous training and monitoring of association members to appreciate and own circles as a means of sustainable cooperative development. There is need to provide for motorable means to facilitate commercial officers and other officers to conduct regular field visits. These are normal. I do not understand when the government is introducing such a big multi-billion program, why they cannot really have a holistic plan to know how it can be executed to give us results. And we have many case studies in this country where we have seen success. So I don't know why we go in a haphazard manner and then we lose a lot of resources. I think the minister will explain. My friend Kasolo is here. Need us within this period, because now some of the circles are going to break down. They think this, since it was a political program, now there is no more commitment from government. We need that confidence to address it as soon as possible. Microfinance Support Center activities should be investigated, especially on the issue of non-payment of the CDOs. If that was in the contract, and they engaged the CDOs and commercial officers, then they should have provided that funding. And of course, you cannot provide money without auditing to know how these circles are functioning. So we need that duty to be done quickly. More community sensitization, that's repetition. Decentralization, decentralize the Myoga program, because everything, much as we have regional centers, but the Myoga program, the way it was structured, it was so much controlled from the center. So we need more empowerment at the lower level. Amend the cooperative law and put clear penalties for those who default payments and loan recoveries under a Myoga. That is if the mistakes are not from our side of government. There is need for training of association leaders. The information dissemination component should be mainstreamed throughout the whole implementation roadmap, because the duty bearers tend to deprive the right holders of information and leave them to be taken advantage of. Tracks every coin of money that is disbursed and cause duty bearers and accounting officers to give regular account of the progress on implementation. Madam Speaker, given the above findings, it is important to note that the Myoga is a good, well-intended socio-economic transformational program that, if well implemented, can enable the local persons to improve on their economic well-being. It is equally important to note that for many decades, the government has made attempts to reach the common person through programs like Entandikwa, among others, but the mode and manner of implementation has always failed the desired goals, and the Myoga is no exception and needs very quick remedial interventions to avert another wastage of taxpayers' money. I beg to move, Madam Speaker, and the list of the members.
Alex, and thank you for the report. Very good report. On the next programs. Thank you. Members will receive all the reports, then debate on the reports after they've been submitted. Lango.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Opio Samuel, Member of Parliament for Kole North constituency, but also the General Secretary of the Lao Parliamentary Group, and I'll be presenting this report on behalf of the Lao sub-region. The report is uploaded on the iPads, and I'll be giving highlights starting from page 1 of this report. We've already understood clearly the basis on which this oversight function was done, based on the directive that was given by the Speaker between the 5th to the 17th of August. And there were 8 terms of reference which focused on from receipts of the funds to their disbursements, to their recoveries, and to the controls and the systems that were in place. In our methodology, we had the oversight that focused on meetings with the district leaderships, that was the RDCs, the COWs, the LC5s, and the district commercial officer near Oyam, and the Tuhe district, where Honorable Julius comes from, and we want to also congratulate him as a Lao Parliamentary Group, and Lira City. And Madam Speaker, I want to report that all the 9 districts gave reports on the oversight of a Myoga program within their respective constituencies. On the key findings on the Myoga program, the first was on the funds released in the Lao sub-region districts. We noted that generally all the reporting administrative units, that is the districts and the cities, indicated that the SACCOs received the funds into their accounts. The local leader SACCOs received 50 million shillings each in their accounts, while the others received 30 million shillings in their accounts. However, there were a number of discrepancies that we noted. In Otuhe district, Otuhe County Veterans Myoga did not receive their 30 million, although Microfinance Support Center had indicated in their earlier letter that money had been sent totaling to 560 million for all the 18 SACCOs. The bank statements showed no evidence of money sent to the Veteran SACCO of Otuhe County. In Kole district, the Kole South Local Leaders SACCO, it was noted that they received 50 million shillings twice, on the 15th of December 2020, total of 100 million. However, 50 million was removed from the account on the 21st of December 2020. The bank of the explanation from the bank manager, this matter is still a subject of inquiry by the police. Secondly, on matters to read criteria for distributing the Myoga funds and the qualification, the funds were distributed based on their session savings, the registration with the SACCO, payment for membership, subscription fees, active participation in the enterprise. You needed also not to have a running loan, but also you had to apply through the associations and not directly. But further, you needed to have saved a third of the amounts that you wished to borrow. So if you needed to borrow 3 million shillings, you needed to have saved at least 1 million shillings. The maximum repayment period was 4 months. There was further guidance given by the Microfinance Support Center that for all the withdrawals from the bank accounts, recommendation letters had to be issued by the district commercial officers. Therefore, no withdrawals could take place from any bank account without a recommendation letter from the district commercial officers. But also they were required to witness the disbursement of the funds to the different associations. There were several observations in the various districts. In Amolata district, whereas there was a substantive district commercial officer in place, the RDC instead appointed a community development officer in his place to handle the Myoga program. In Lira City, due to lack of existence of independent administrative structures, the Myoga program, including the disbursements, were managed by the Lira district, trade, industry, and commercial departments. And this, in a way, impacted on the implementation of a Myoga within Lira City. In a Leptong district, due to the stringent requirements, whereas funds had been received in the SACCO account, none had been disbursed at the time of the oversight. In other words, all the 30 millions, the 50 millions had not been withdrawn or disbursed to any of the associations from the date of receipt. However, Moroto journalist SACCO indicated that they had fulfilled all the requirements but were not granted access to the funds when they went to the bank, though the commercial officer had already given them a recommendation letter. We could not establish the reasons why the disbursements were not honored. In Amolata district also, we noted that no fund disbursements had also been made. In Oduhe district, we found that 3 SACCOs had not yet accessed their funds, and the reasons mainly given was that because of the COVID-19 period, the members were reluctant to take up the loans because they will face the challenges in terms of repayment. In Kole district, there were several instances where the 1/3 saving requirement for the loan applied was not complied with. As stated, you needed to have saved at least 1/3 of what you needed. So if you needed to borrow 3 million shillings, you should have saved at least 1 million. But we observed that in several cases, as indicated on page 4, this was not complied with. For example, in a Patch Produce Dealers Association, 910,000 was saved, but what was disbursed was 5 million shillings, more than 5 times the savings. When you scroll down to the bottom, the last bullet, in Opera Performing Artists, or Querodot Performing Artists, under the logo Performing Artists, each saved 250,000 shillings, but they received 5 million shillings, more than 20 times the savings that they had made. On page 5, in regard to the SACCOs and the groups registered, the 36 SACCOs in the district reported were found to be registered with the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Comparatives under the 18 categories. We also found hundreds of associations registered under the different SACCOs. For example, Molata had 411 associations, Lira City 594 associations. We noted some observation that whereas the Kole North Women Entrepreneurs SACCO is a women's SACCO, it was being led by a man, Ewano Kelo Alex Jimmy, as the chairperson. We also found several other women entrepreneur SACCOs, associations, which were led by men, namely Aliru Women Joint Entrepreneurs, led by Okello Thompson, and Wala Joint Women Entrepreneurs, led by Obaro Boniface and Ogwang Alex. Under accountability measures for the beneficiaries and whether they existed, the beneficiaries were expected to make their savings, loan repayments, memberships, and subscription fees, recoveries, and any charges to the SACCO-bound accounts. We noticed that each parish was required to contribute, each association in each parish was required to contribute at least 20,000 to the constituency SACCOs. That was as per the guidelines. But we observed that in the different districts, there was varied implementation. And we found that in Amolata district, the associations are being asked to pay registration fees of 40,000 into the district collection account. This was not supposed to be money collected by the district. If there was any, it should have been collected into the SACCO accounts. But we also noted that the associations had to raise 600,000 shillings, with each member paying 20,000 shillings, and part of this will go into the SACCO, half of it, the other half will remain, we're told, for purposes of registration. We also had concerns that were being raised by some of the associations that were being denied access to the bank statements to confirm their actual loan and saving amounts, and were even threatened not to question what did not concern them by the SACCO leaders. This was observed in Kole district. In Aleptom district, we observed also that there are funds that had not been disbursed. So we noticed 2 districts, whereas funds had been received, they had not been disbursed due to various reasons. But we also noticed that there was also a lot of concern that the funds were not sufficient. For example, in Kwania district, Kwania Produce Dealer SACCO had 128 groups, each with 30 members totaling to 3,840. And they had 30 million shillings. Doholo district had 75 Produce Dealers Association. Oyam district also had the same challenges. Across the various districts, including Lira, Aleptong, Kwania, and Kole, there was a perception that the funds were to be given as a grant and not as a loan. And they therefore did not expect that they will be repaid. We also noticed that part of the savings that were being made in some of the districts were not part of the funds that were being let out. For example, Tuhe County, which had about 300 members in their Emioga SACCO for produce dealers, they had 8 million shillings in their account, and that could not form part of what could be lent out. In Amolata district, we noted there were suspicious deposits into the SACCO accounts which were not known to the SACCO leaders. And even in Lira district, we observed there were deposits that were being made under the description Boda Boda in a women entrepreneur SACCO, and it was quite difficult to understand the motive behind that. In Lira City, it was reported that the Myoga scheme was interfered with and manipulated by opportunists, the well-connected, and some unscrupulous and selfish personalities who diverted the collective benefits of the scheme for personal use. On page 5, now as a result of that, there are also claims of instances of discrimination of some individuals and persuasions and were reported which discouraged some potential beneficiaries from participating. Most group members of the SACCOs were found to have abandoned, and the top executive also left due to lack of trust and confidence in the leadership of some of these SACCOs. That was in Lira City. In regard to the safeguards to ensure that funds disbursed have been paid back, the one is that one needed to have saved at least a third of the loan, which acted more or less as part security. There was also a short repayment period of 4 months. There were also leaderships in place to run the SACCO. There was also a loan vetting process, a loans committee, and even they were required to guarantee each other. In Otuke district, we noted that the persons that had borrowed the money were freely paying it, and no cases of default had been reported. In Kole district, most of the challenge, especially when it came to the safeguards. But it was also noted that some of the leaders were handpicked by the implementers of the program, and it was not done through a democratic elective process. In Kole district, for example, the leadership of the SACCOs was selective, and it had one person who identified himself as the coordinator who selected the different leaders. And that is why you note that the Kolen women entrepreneurs, the chairperson was a man because of that. On page 8, we also noticed that in Kole North, specifically, majority of their sessions had not paid back their loans. Major reasons cited were the lockdown and the harsh weather, which led to low yields. But it was also noted that there were discrepancies in some of the claimed recoveries. For example, in the district commercial officer's report, it indicated that Opera Parish local leaders had repaid 3 million shillings. But these funds could not be traced in the bank accounts, and the account had only 265,939.48 shillings. We observed also similar discrepancies with, in the Association for People with Disabilities and also Opera Tailoring Association, where 2,313,000 was indicated to have been paid, but it could not be traced by the respective SACCO leaders or paid not be undertaken because of lack of electricity.
Madam Speaker, Uganda is a small country, as Honorable Achon noted, and we have gerrymandered it to create 146 districts. Wouldn't it be procedurally right and proper for every presenter to take the format that the Rwenzori sub-region had taken? I mean, it's a very good thing to give us the narrative of district per district regarding the different defects they found. But Madam Speaker, in light of the fact that we have so many districts, 146 in total, every sub-region has to present wouldn't it be proper that we take a more defined format to save time? Thank you.
What is the format you suggest?
The format that Rwenzori sub-region started with. He gave us the challenges and the recommendations. He didn't go into every district. He gave a few examples to build up on his points. Like Chegegwa, there was totally no disbursement made. So he structured his reports in a very organized way because he had the challenges and the recommendations to the challenges. So wouldn't it be proper, instead of saying Soroti, Katakwi, Amuria?
Actually, he's presenting is like what Honorable Alex did, only that there are some exceptions that they have in some districts that must be mentioned, that you cannot leave out unmentioned. So that's what he's doing.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'm on page 9.
Listen, the report of Lango is sad news.
To do with extortion from the public and collection of illegal fees. We noticed that there were several instances of extortion that was undertaken. For example, in Amolata district, there was 40,000 shillings that was being demanded to be collected. We noticed also certain circles were demanding for certain funds which were not part of what to be collected. I'll give one example. Doholo North Women Entrepreneur Circle, at the start, collected the following funds: 5,000 for registration from each association, 40,000 from each association for rent, 25,000 from each association for transport, 5,000 from each individual member association for loan pickup, 20,000 from each individual member association for circle registration, and 10,000 from each of individual member association for membership. We also noticed